started, unless there's an exception to that. So, welcome to the May 22nd, 2020 regularly scheduled meeting of the Environmental Improvement Board. It is 1:16, and this is John Volkerding speaking. We have a few, I think it looks like we have a few people who are calling as opposed to video, and so to identify who is speaking so that they can keep track. I have a few preliminary items I wanted to go through just to make the meeting go smoother and discuss the uniqueness of events before we start the meeting. I appreciate everyone's willingness to meet via this venue, and I think it will help move these items along, so I appreciate everyone's flexibility. So for some formality, based on the public health emergency that was declared by the governor and the guidelines for public gatherings set out by the Department of Health, as well as direction from the Attorney General, the board is holding this meeting virtually. And we're doing so because we do have a time-sensitive issue on the agenda. And I'll go into more detail on the statutory plan requirements once we get down to that agenda item. And the EIB is using video conferencing and teleconferencing application on the advice of the Open Meetings Division of the Attorney General's Office. Again, more formality. Conducting a meeting in this manner is also allowed under the board's regulations, section 20.1.1 and 20.1.2. I will use the 20.1.2 paragraph since that's related to adjudicatory issues. And that is really the issue that's going to be before us. I'll just read it if I can get my glasses. A member of the board may participate in a meeting or hearing of the board by means of a conference, telephone, or other similar communications equipment when it is otherwise difficult or impossible for the member to attend the meeting or hearing in person, provided that each member participating by conference call or other mechanism can be identified when speaking, while participants are able to hear each other at the same time, and members of the public attending the meeting are able to hear members of the board. And a board member's participation by such means shall constitute presence in person at the meeting. To try and meet all of those requirements, there's a few things I think to do as far as kind of housekeeping. Please mute yourself when you're not speaking. And then if you start having problems hearing people or understand, please let us know so we can try and address that. Once speaking, please identify yourself for the benefit of those that are on solely by teleconference, so they'll know who is speaking to avoid any confusion. There will be a time for public comment. All action will be taken by a roll call vote, so that way we're clear on who voted how. And the meeting is being recorded, and the recording will be posted online as soon as possible, and the meeting minutes will be posted within 10 days on the department's website. If there are any difficulties during the meeting, technically, you're more than welcome to contact Cody Barnes, the board administrator. And I'm going to give a number, and so Cody, if I'm wrong on this, please let me know. 505-660-4305, and maybe he can help with any of the technical issues. And then all of the login information for this was included on the notice of the agenda. I think that's all of the preliminary stuff I wanted to address. With that, if we can get a roll call.
Certainly. And also, for everyone who is participating on the video conference, I put my contact information in the chat, which is a feature that you can find in one of the little circles down below on the video screen. Okay, so So here, I'm going to just go alphabetically just so it's easier to anticipate. Member Bitzer. And remember, yeah.
Here.
Okay.
Here.
Member Chase. Okay, I don't think he logged on yet. Member Duval. I don't think he's logged on yet either. Member Garcia.
Here.
Member Swina. I think she's going to come on later. Member Trujillo Davis.
Here.
And then Chair Volkerding.
Present.
Okay, we do have a quorum.
Okay, great. Thank you. Agenda item 2 is the approval of the agenda. And so if I have a motion. So moved. And is there a second?
Second.
All right, we have a first and a second. Any additional comments? If not, then if we can all vote. Probably maybe I guess. Let's do that by roll call just to be clear, and there's no confusion.
Okay. Member Bitzer.
Yes.
Member Garcia.
Yes.
Member Trujillo Davis.
Yes.
And then Chair Volkerding.
Yes. All right. Motion carries. The agenda approved. And then how are the public notice requirements for the meeting met?
Yeah. So I posted them online on the EID website in 3 locations. So on the main homepage, on the public notices page, and then there's the final one, which is, here, let me just look quickly. And then, so public notices, the agendas and meeting minutes page, and the EID homepage, and all of those are on the EID website on NMET's overall website. And then I also sent them to the interested parties. So every party involved in an agenda item, I sent the agenda to. I sent it to the governor's office, to Melissa Salazar. And then I also sent it to the EID distribution list.
Great. Thank you very much. Item 4, approval of our meeting minutes from our last meeting of February 28, 2020. Do I have a motion?
I move to approve the minutes.
Second.
Second it.
Okay, we have a first and a second. So, all in favor? Again, I'm going to do a roll call vote just to avoid confusion.
Yeah, certainly. So Member Bitzer.
Yes.
Member Garcia.
Yes.
Member Trujillo Davis.
Yes.
And Chair Volkerding.
Yes. Thank you. And then as far as getting those signed, so that will be for the secretary. Is a digital signature good enough, or how do you want her to get that back to you, Cody?
Yeah, so the department's been accepting digital signatures. So what I'll do is I'll take out the line numbers, and then I'll send a PDF version to the secretary for her to sign.
Okay, thank you. Item 5, public comment unrelated to agenda items. Is there anyone on that would like to make any public comment that's unrelated to the rest of the agenda? Okay, I did not hear anyone. We're going to move on to item 6, the request for hearing in EID 20-21A in the matter of the appeal of the air quality permit number 7482-M1 issued to 3 Bear Delaware Operating NM LLC. Daniel Timmons and Samantha Ruskovich, I apologize if I butchered that, Bars, counsel for the petitioner, Wild Earth Guardians, and Laura Katz, counsel for the New Mexico Environment Department. And before I turn it over, I wanted to just go over a couple things because I was going to talk about the timeliness issue that we had, which is why we're doing the meeting electronically. And I don't mean to steal anyone's thunder. It said I would go through that during my preliminary remarks. So the permit was issued in April 8th of 20, and under the rule, any party that was involved in the permitting action has 30 days to file notice of the appeal, and that date was May 8th, and that was done. The department does have an opportunity to respond by June 8th, which, at least to my knowledge, has not happened yet. And the concern was if the department, if the board waited until the response to do anything, we would start running into a deadline problem under the rule, which is 20.1.2.204, scheduling the hearing. It says the hearing shall be scheduled no later than 60 days, and that would be July 8th. So to ensure that we met the timeliness of the requirements, we're doing the meeting virtually, and so I appreciate everyone's willingness to do that. And so with that, I will turn it over to the petitioners.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and members of the board. My name is Daniel Simmons, and I'm a staff attorney representing Wilder's Guardians in this matter. Also present here are my co-counsel, Samantha Rustevitz-Bars, as well as Guardians Climate and Energy Program Director, Jeremy Nichols. As you indicated, we appreciate your putting this on the agenda and holding this meeting virtually. We understand that these are challenging times for everyone, so we appreciate everybody's consideration in that matter. Just very briefly, this is a permit appeal that essentially is challenging the department's failure to support its conclusion that new emissions in the Carlsbad area will not cause or contribute to the ongoing ozone problem and violations of the ozone net in that area. Obviously, this is not the point to argue the merits of the case, but just wanted to sort of provide that broad brush framing. In light of the, again, sort of the unprecedented times that we're going through, Guardians is willing to waive that 60-day hearing requirement, we have been in conversations with counsel for the department and agree that, we want to pursue this appeal expeditiously, but recognize that given sort of where things are at with the department and with the sort of reopening of New Mexico, that it makes sense to not necessarily push for an immediate hearing. So again, we're willing to waive that 60-day requirement that's permitted under the rules, and are prepared, if necessary, to provide a written motion to that effect. So essentially, I think today will be very quick. We've conferred with counsel for the department, and at this point, I think that we would propose that here today the board simply appoint a hearings officer for this matter, and that the parties work with that hearings officer to set a schedule for preliminary proceedings as well as the ultimate hearing itself, to schedule that hearing date. We're certainly willing to entertain hearing dates and try to get that on the schedule if the board feels that's essential, but we don't feel at this point that that's necessarily the best course, just given sort of the questions about whether or not, in particular, the hearing itself will be an in-person hearing or a virtual hearing, and how sort of the logistics of all that might play out. So we feel it would be better to have a little more time to work with a hearings officer to sort of hash through some of those details. That's really essentially all we had prepared to say today. If you have any questions, we're happy to entertain them.
Do any members of the board have any questions? No. Okay. Does the department have any comments?
Good afternoon, Chairman Volkervang and members of the board. This is Laura Katz. I'm at the Office of General Counsel of the New Mexico Environment Department. Also on the line is Liz Kuhn, who's our Air Quality Bureau Chief. And I also believe that the General Counsel for Three Bear, the permittee, is also on the line. I will, I agree, we conferred, Mr. Timmons and Ms. Escobar conferred, this week. And the department agrees with the, proposed, plan to move forward and to, have a hearing officer that works with the parties, to schedule the proceedings and the hearing. And also I did want to clarify one thing, where you said that, the department's response, based on the May 8th filing date, the department's response was due June 8th. However, Wilder Sardians did not properly serve the department with the petition, as required under the board's adjudicatory procedures. And I notified them about that, and they rectified that on May 15th. And so the department would maintain that our 30-day timeline for responding runs from May 18th and not May.
Okay, I appreciate that. Is any of that, has that been submitted to the board just so we have it in the records when we're doing the matter?
Yes, I have that, yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Thanks.
Any comments from the board?
Real quick,
Member Bitzer.
you said the 30-day, Larry, you said the 30-day runs on the 18th. I thought we were talking about a 60-day. Sorry, am I mixing apples and oranges?
Yes. So let me, I'll explain, I'll clarify that. So the 60-day time frame is for the holding of the hearing. And I mean, I suppose I would argue then that also that 60-day time frame would also run, could argue that would run, although it's not really, it's sort of beside the point because we are agreeing to waive the 60-day deadline. And so because all the parties agree to waive that, it's not really material at this point. And so we would just, maintain that our response, the 30-day time for our response would run from the 15th of May.
So as things stand now, then, are we going to end up hearing this at some point, or is this likely to get resolved by a hearing officer? Is that what I'm hearing?
I believe that the hearing officer would conduct the hearing with the board present at that time, but we are just requesting not to set the actual hearing right now, and instead simply appoint the hearing officer, then have the hearing officer work with the parties on the schedule and the hearing, at which then the board would also be present for that hearing.
So we are going to hear this case at some point?
Yes. Unless, of course, the parties settle it before that.
Okay. I'm just wondering how far into this document I should review and read and so forth. It's a biggie. A lot of stuff in it. But I guess in the satellite, I don't want to get into the weeds.
We're not getting into the substantive issues at this point.
Yeah.
Mr. Chair, may I speak?
Yes, please. Identify yourself.
Let me identify myself. I'm Mike Wozniak, and I'm the general counsel for the permittee in this case, which is Three Bear Delaware Operating. And thanks everybody for setting this on the docket and listening to us verbally. We didn't get on the website because we have checked shirts on instead of suits and ties, and we didn't want to offend you. But bottom line is that we just want to make sure that as a permittee, we are a party to the action. When we look at the statutes, it looks like it's really the division and the petitioner, but we just want to make sure that we are a party, and if we have to enter an appearance, we certainly will. But based upon what Ms. Katz said, we do not have an objection to waiving the 60-day hearing timing. And we're happy to work through the process, whatever works best. And so I just wanted to get that on the record.
Thank you very much. And as you can see from the videos, we wouldn't have been offended by your attire. All right. Thank you very much for that. And any other board or department? So it sounds like that what we're going to do now is determine who the hearing officer will be for the matter, since we're not going to set a date. Does anyone on the board want to volunteer?
We should nominate someone who missed the meeting.
That would be okay, except then they might not even know. I don't mind serving. At the same time, I think Member Garcia would do an outstanding job. So anyway, I can move that I could serve as hearing officer.
I'll say that.
Okay. And then if we can do a roll call vote for that.
Of course. Okay, Member Bitzer.
Yes?
Member Garcia.
Yes.
Member Trujillo Davis.
Yes.
And then Chair Volkerding.
Yes.
Alrighty.
Is there anything else on this that we should address as a full board?
This is, can everyone hear me? This is Carlos Soria, counsel for the board. Just a couple things. I would advise, for the purposes of the record, and so also that our board administrator can properly serve all the parties, the rules do provide for entry of an interested party. So if the permittee wants to go ahead and do that and formally file that so that they're in the loop, and then that's part of the record, I just wanted to put that out there. And there was a second thing that has now escaped me, but I may remember in a few minutes. But for the purpose of the record, if the permittee does plan on participating as an interested party, we would appreciate filing if that happens formally.
Thank you very much. We'll do so.
I have a question.
Yes, Member Garcia.
Shouldn't we set a hearing date, or I realize they're waiving the 60 days, but are we not setting a hearing date?
That is what the parties have been working on, is not to set a hearing date at the moment, given the uncertainty of the venue.
Okay. Okay, got it.
Okay.
Okay.
I was looking at the, our next meeting is scheduled for June 26th, and the governor is having a special session, and so I would assume that the Capitol for our next meeting would be occupied. So it might be better, again, depending on how the parties work things out, of postponing it until after the special session. So we've got a good place to hold the hearing.
I heard that the special session was going to last about 72 hours.
Well, then maybe it won't be an issue, but you never know.
That's just a rumor.
Okay.
Member Garcia prompted me, this is again Carlos Soria, counsel to the board. The second issue I wanted to bring up was that if the parties could submit some sort of stipulated agreement or order memorializing the waiver of the 60 days to the board administrator, that would also be helpful.
Certainly, we can do that.
All right. Any other items on the request for hearing? Great, thank you, everyone. Next item is just to remind that our next scheduled meeting is for June 26th. Has the board administrator received anything pertinent for that meeting yet?
I have not.
Okay.
But I just wanted to mention quickly as well, just on this item. So I am leaving the department July 10th.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I'm going to start law school in the fall.
Okay, well, congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. And so I'll keep you updated with if they find a replacement or how the department is planning on filling that space, but
Okay.
as of right now, there is not somebody. But
Okay.
anyway, so next June would be the last meeting for me.
So when is your last day with the department?
July 10th.
July 10th, okay. And you said that, I just didn't write it down. Okay. And where are you going to law school?
UNM.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
Well, good luck. Congrats. You have been actually an outstanding board administrator, so we're going to definitely miss you. So, but also understand.
That's very kind. Thank you.
If nothing else, the next item is adjournment. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
All right. Second.
Second.
All right. All in favor? We can do this without a roll call vote. Aye.
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 Well, thank you everyone for your attendance, and I look forward to working with the parties on as a hearing officer, and we'll go from there.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.